Everyone is shy to talk about money, but everyone wants to know the real numbers. So I tracked every euro I spent on Padel, and today I'm going to show exactly how much it costs to start and how much it costs every month after that. Antoshka is here again. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. In the last video I said, see you next week. That was 3 weeks ago. Turns out editing a 7-minute video takes 3 weeks if you have never edited videos before. But 3 weeks is not nothing. 3 weeks means new data. So before we get to the money, quick update on my body. 3 weeks ago I weighed 105 kilos. Today 104.3. Do you know the difference between a roller coaster and my weights graph? No difference. Absolutely nothing. It's not a clean line going down. There are weeks I went up. Salty dinner, water retention next morning. A weekend with friends, extra 2000 calories. One day I'm 103.4, 2 days later I'm 104.3. I'm not perfect. I overeat sometimes. I retain water, the number on the scale jumps. But that's the point. Every spike up is not a reason to give up or hate yourself. But when I zoom out the graph, the trend is still down. So, total since January, 7.5 kilos down, 2.2% body fat down. Okay, now let's talk about money. When I say I play Padel 5 times a week, you might be thinking, oh, this guy must be rich, he's burning a lot of money on it. Honestly, everything is not so bad. So I made 3 costs lists. 1. The absolute minimum to play your first game. The second one, what it actually costs me per month. And third one, the bigger one-time spends you only make once you realize this sport is your thing. And let's start with the cheapest version. If you have never tried Padel and you're not sure if you like it, please, I'm begging you, don't buy a full setup before your first game. I'll save you a few €100 right now. Racket. Almost every club rents them. Usually it's about €5 in Spain, sometimes free. Borrow one, don't buy. Balls. 1 can, 3 balls, around €7. Lasts about 10 games before they go flat. And the info for your first time. Usually the person organizing the game brings them. So also basically 0 for your first game. Shoes. This is the one I want to pay attention to. It's the most important part. Padel shoes have aggressive lateral support because in Padel you stop, change direction and slide constantly. Running shoes will destroy your ankles, so you do need shoes with lateral support. But here's what nobody tells you. If you already own tennis shoes, basketball shoes, the volleyball ones, they all have great lateral support. For your first game, just use those. Don't go drop €100 on Padel specific shoes for a sport you haven't even tried yet. But what if you still don't own any shoes with lateral support? You can still play your first game in regular, flat sneakers. But be careful. No sharp lateral movements, no sudden direction changes, no sliding for the ball. Play soft, play mellow. The first game is just to feel the sport. It's not worth a sprained ankle. And the court. Where I play, an outdoor paddle court is around €25 for 90 minutes, split 4 ways, that's around €60 each. So your first game realistically costs about €10. And that's the floor, the absolute minimum. That's how cheap it can be. But now let me show you my actual life. Let me break down a typical month. I'll use my real numbers from April 2026. Spain. The most recent full month I have here. Court bookings. I played 16 times this month. My share per game was around 6 euros. So courts alone around 95 euros in April. And also you can see the prices of courts in my region. It's Málaga, Benalmádena, Fuengirola. You can see that there are cheap courts, expensive courts. You can see that some clubs offer static prices, but some clubs have dynamic prices, depend on daytime, for example. Coach. Personally, I take a private lesson roughly once a week. It's 48 euros an hour. So that's close to 200 euros a month. Optional? Yes, optional if you don't care about getting better. And yeah, I want to get better. But actually, here in Malaga, it's not the average price. Average price here in Malaga is around 30-35 euros per private lesson per hour. And also, you can have group lessons that much cheaper. It's around 15 euros in my region. Balls. I burn through about 1 can every 2 weeks. So roughly 2 cans a month, and it's around 14 euros. Tournaments. So far I've played 1. Entry was 25 euros. It's not a regular monthly cost, but worth mentioning. Because if you fall in love with Padel, you'll start signing up for this. It's actually average price here for average tournament, but there are lots of types of tournaments. So the total was around 250 euros in April. And finally, the third list, the bigger one-time spends. These are not monthly, these are really depending on the region and your personal taste. These are the things you buy once you realize, okay, Padel is my thing now, I want to play more and more and more. Your own racket. Renting is fine for the first few games, but eventually you'll want one that fits your hand and your style. A solid beginner to intermediate racket runs about 40 to 100 euros. Mine cost me 85. You don't need anything fancy at the start. So please don't buy a 300 euro pro racket for week 2. Actually, probably you will play worse with a pro racket at the start. Once you're playing every week, you'll want proper paddle shoes. Same range, 40 to 100 euros in Spain for something decent. This lasts much longer than regular sneakers under this kind of side-to-side movements, and your ankles will thank you. I paid 85 euros for mine. And gloves. You can start in a regular t-shirt, but then you'll discover that cotton plus 90 minutes of paddle equals a wet sponge. Sport shirts, shorts, socks that don't blister your feet. Overall, these months I spent about 300 euros. But not in one day. So, 8 months in, total spent on paddle, racket, courts, coach, tournaments, gloves, shoes, every euro, and in total 1300 euros. I lost 7.5 kilos in those 8 months, which means, and I've actually done this calculation because I can't help myself, my cost per kilogram lost is 170 euros. By comparison, my old gym membership was around 50 euros a month and 0 kilogram lost a month. So technically infinity euros per kilo, and Padel is mathematically the better deal. On a summary, if you want to try Padel, your first game costs the price of a couple of coffees or one restaurant meal. Don't overthink it. Don't pre-buy gear, use the shoes you already have. If you start playing once a week, no coach, no tournaments, it's around 50-60 euros a month. And if you fall in love with it, like I did, and play every other day with coach, expect around 200-300 euros per month. And on top of that, the one-time spends. Your own racket, your own shoes, some gloves, 100 to 300 euros depending on how serious you go and what you like. In any case, track it. And especially if you live in some other region and you spend some different amount of money, let me know in the comments how much it costs for you. I love the real numbers, that's literally the whole channel. On the next episode, I'm gonna tell you about my next tournament that I'm actually already subscribed. If this was useful, subscribe. It genuinely helps a small channel survive. I'm Antoshka, 104.3 kilos, and this is the week number, well, technically week number 4, but who's counting?